Happy Monday. Let's see if we're actually going. All right, team, happy Monday. June 8th, another Monday motivation. It is fully summer. It is hot, it is humid. It is officially summertime, but we are still crushing it in the gym. We just started our famed deload week. You guys can make fun of me all you want about a deload week, but if you do it right, it can be a deload. Classic thrusters and pull-ups waiting on y'all in the gym today. Great way to start the week. Coach Beefy's on a little summer vacay. She's saying good morning. Keith is here. What am I up to? Same old, Keith. Just trying to motivate y'all on a Monday. But yeah, kicking off deload week. If it's deload week, we know that next week is going to be retest week. We are already retesting our summer training cycle. And I know that kind of confuses people sometimes because it feels like summer just got started, but we're already done with our summer training cycle. And that's because the goal was to get you guys looking and feeling amazing, fit, strong, ripped, all the things before summer got here. And if you have been on your shit, from January, spring cycle, summer cycle, then you are going into summer 2026 feeling pretty good. And that's the goal. We want you guys to celebrate your fitness, celebrate how awesome you look. And then we're going to retest next week, celebrate all those amazing PRs. And that's going to take us right into kind of the 4th of July holiday, believe it or not. June is going to fly by. But before we get there, I know a lot of us are working towards our DECA Strong DECA Atlas. We are getting so pumped for that event. Biggest event of the summer. We're doing DECA Atlas Friday night, June 19th. And then we've got DECA Strong Saturday morning, June 20th. And if you missed it, Friday, just a few days ago, we actually did a live throwdown between Ant and Coach Whitney. They took on that DECA Atlas workout. I was commenting live, and I was actually joined by the founder and CEO of DECA, which is super cool. Yancey was on there with me. He gave a lot of really cool backstory, a lot of great insight onto how to tackle the workout. So if you're signed up for DECA Atlas, you definitely want to watch that video. You will get some tips and tricks that nobody else would. So it's on our YouTube. Ant versus Whitney just a few days ago live streamed that workout. Definitely go check it out. And yeah, I'm excited to retest that Atlas workout. I'm excited to see everybody take it on. It's been kind of the perfect, mid-year goal, something to work towards. I know so many people in the gym have really big goals that are coming up in September, October, November. We've got the triathlon in the beginning of September. We've got a ton of people going to Beach Brawl at the end of September. And then, of course, we are heading back to High Rocks. And they just released a DECA Fit, which is like DECA Strong on steroids, a lot longer, kind of similar to High Rocks. So a lot of opportunities to test your fitness in the fall. And so it can be kind of hard to stay focused when things are that far in advance. So having this DECA event as a way to test yourself as like a midpoint has been perfect for us. So if you haven't signed up yet, highly encourage that you do. And yeah, I've just been so inspired by everybody at Oxfit, all of the clients that I work with, that Coach Caitlin works with, Ant and Lauren, and just everyone in the gym, for how dedicated you guys are to your fitness, to your routines, and seeing you guys have that dedication while also just living life to the fullest. I mean, I see you guys on social media. I see you in and out of the gym. We've all been talking about our summer travel plans, what we've been getting up to, what our kids are getting up to, sports, camps, just all the things. So we all have just like these really full, fun, busy lives. Um, but that can make things a lot more complicated. And that can also make things more complicated when you're in kind of a transitional time in your life where maybe your body isn't responding the way it used to. So today I kind of want to speak to really specifically the people my age, maybe late 20s, early 30s. You're transitioning out of this, I'm just coasting, I always look good, I always feel good because I'm 22, to now you feel like you hit 30 and everybody's talking about it like it's a death sentence because you're sore and you're out of shape and you can't do this and you can't do that. So that is who I want to reach out to today. And just overall message for everyone is to say, if we aren't careful and if we aren't on top of it, May 31st or June 8th, or, this time of year can very, very quickly turn into August, September, October, and it's going to go by so fast. So now is not the time to check out. If you actually built, good habits the first half of this year, it's going to be pretty impossible for you to fall off over summer, because if it is truly a good habit, then it's something that's going to be pretty hard to take away. You're not going to have to get back in shape in the fall. If you've already told yourself that you'll deal with X, Y, and Z after summer, I'm going to get back in the gym after summer, I'm going to start meal prepping, I'm going to clean up my diet, I'm going to finally lose 5 pounds after summer. I want this podcast to be the thing that stops you from falling victim to that mindset and feeling like, because you have such an awesome, busy life with work, travel, family, whatever it is, I want to stop you from falling victim to the mindset that you can't also better yourself, both physically and mentally, while also doing those things. There's no reason to wait for August. There's no reason to wait for the end of the year or even next year. And I think that's because one thing we don't talk about enough, or maybe people don't hear enough, is how health compounds. So we know about, with money, right? Compound interest. You put away a little bit consistently, and years later, it's going to grow to something significant. And health works exactly the same way. Taking a walk today instead of watching TV for 30 minutes doesn't really seem like that big of a deal. Choosing a healthier lunch today versus, going out to eat with all of your coworkers doesn't feel that life-changing. Getting to bed 30 minutes earlier probably isn't going to change your life tomorrow, but if we stack these decisions together over 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, the results are going to be impossible to ignore, and impossible for other people to ignore too. But the problem is also that unhealthy habits compound too. So that is why I think this transition between your late 20s, your early 30s, or just your 30s in general are such an important time period, because we're still at a place where we might have that extra time, disposable income to make meaningful changes in our life, but we're also old enough to pretty clearly see where our current habits are taking us. And if there's one thing I've learned about working with people on their health, is that the goal is never to be perfect. The goal is just to be consistent. And a lot of people approach fitness like an all or nothing game. They decide they're going to completely reinvent themselves overnight. They need a new diet. They need a new workout plan, no cheat meals, no missed workouts. They go 100% for maybe a week or two. And then real life happens. So a busy week at work turns into a missed workout. One night out becomes a whole weekend of bad decisions. And before they know it, they are right back to where they started. So the issue isn't a lack of motivation. The issue is that they're building plans that they're never going to change or never going to sustain. And honestly, what actually works is much less exciting. And that's what I like to coach people to do, is to find the balance, find what's going to be sustainable. If you can spend most of your week making good decisions, the occasional less than perfect day doesn't really matter. If 80% of your habits support your goals, the remaining 20% really just become less important over time. And that's how healthy people stay healthy, not because they're more disciplined than everyone else every single day. It's because they have systems and habits that they can maintain when life gets busy. Because life is always going to be busy. And the mistake is thinking that being healthy requires a complete overhaul of your life. It takes all of your time, takes all the fun away. And that's just not true at all. Most people don't need a brand new life. They just need better decisions inside the life they already have. And that's why I kind of put together this little test, little challenge. And I'm going to ask 8 questions. And I want you, as I ask them, to think about your answer as quickly as possible. Don't overthink it. The thing is, you should know the answers almost immediately. And if you don't, it's no reason to feel guilty, but it's just a clue that there may be an opportunity to create a healthier habit somewhere in your routine. So my 8 questions that I think really key us into if we have a good base of habits. Number 1, what are you eating for breakfast and lunch this week? Today's Monday. What are you eating for breakfast and lunch this week? Number 2, how many hours a day, give or take, do you spend sitting versus moving around? Number 3, when was the last time you exercised, and when is your next workout? Number 4, when was the last time you went more than 5 consecutive days without drinking alcohol? Number 6, what time do you go to bed and what time do you wake up? Number 7, when was the last time you spent at least 30 uninterrupted minutes outside? That does not include eating or drinking on a patio. And number 8, what day do you normally do, or I think that's 7, what day do you normally do your grocery shopping? And finally, how much water are you drinking every day? So very basic questions, but honestly, none of those should have taken any thought. You either had an answer or you don't. So if any of those questions made you stop and really think, that's okay. But those are often the exact areas that quietly determine whether your health improves or declines over the next decade. It's not some complicated biohack. It's not some revolutionary program. It's just very simple, repeatable things that are going to happen one way or another. You have to eat breakfast and lunch. You have to sleep every night. You have to move throughout the day. But it's just the little details of those questions that matter. And those are the ones that people overlook because they just seem too simple to even think about. But the reality is that they're simple because they work. And notice that I'm not telling you exactly what to eat. I'm not telling you how often you have to work out or how much you have to sleep, because it may be different for everyone. But having some sort of routine and repeatable habits, even if they vary person to person, are key. And those are the things that are going to keep you on track. And this is so evident to me that they work because I know we've all been on weekend trips. We've been out to dinner with friends and coworkers, or maybe on a vacation, and people just lose their mind over, I'm eating like crap. I've got to clean it up when I get back home. I've got to get back in the gym. I'm going to be 10 pounds heavier after this trip. Oh my gosh, summer. I got to get in shape this fall. And honestly, the freedom in not living like that is priceless. And that's what having repeatable good habits gives you. It gives you freedom. I never have to get back in the gym because I know that I work out Monday through Thursday and on Saturday mornings. That's my habit. That's my routine. It's not a question. The fact that I went out to eat Mexican food with my friends on Friday night doesn't change that. It doesn't derail the habits that I've set in place. This weekend, I slept in way longer than normal on Saturday morning, and I didn't end up going to the gym. But I just went and worked out in the garage instead because my habit is to work out on Saturday mornings, and it's just what I do. This morning, I woke up. I was rushing to get out the door. I was running a little bit behind. But my breakfast was already ready to go in the fridge, so I just grabbed it and brought it with me because my habit is to spend 30 minutes on Sundays prepping some food. So I don't have a different lifestyle than other people. I just have habits in place that help me navigate real life stuff like going out, sleeping in, rushing to work on a Monday morning. These are things that can make you or break you. So, going back to those 8 questions, they seem simple, but if you had to really stop and think about each one, you might have some work to do. And honestly, that is what my specialty is. I love helping people navigate this period of their life where they go from coasting through college, through their 20s, to all of a sudden hitting late 20s, early 30s, and thinking it's going downhill for some reason. I coach people on building sustainable habits every day. And not only do my clients look better, they feel amazing. And they're still traveling for work. Some of them every single week are gone. They're still going on vacations. They're still joining happy hours with their work team. But they have the freedom to do all of those things and still look and feel good because of the great habits they build in the 80% of their life outside of those things. So, one more time, running through these questions, stop. If you don't have an answer immediately, I think you should email me, sav@ox.fit, and we can build some really good habits together. What are you eating for breakfast and lunch? How many hours a day are you sitting? When was the last time you exercised? When was the last time you went more than 5 consecutive days without drinking alcohol? What time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up? When was the last time you spent 30 minutes outside not eating or drinking? What day do you grocery shop and how much water do you drink every day? I want all of you guys, anyone listening, anyone I work with, I want you to look better. I want you to outperform, and I want you to have more experiences than your coworkers, your neighbors, your relatives, your friends. And I'm going to tell you right now, misery loves company. When people tell you they're 10 pounds heavier after a vacation, or they slept like shit last night, or they haven't been to the gym, they got to go, they're wasting money on a gym membership, they want you to say, yeah, man, me too. Like, wish I looked like I did when I was 25. No, I want you to look at those people and be like, dang, that sucks. I feel amazing. Because you deserve that. You deserve to be selfish with your time. You deserve to take care of yourself, because future you, your kids, your partner, your family members, they're going to thank you. No one wants to look back at, their early 30s, late 30s, whatever it is, and say, yeah, I started feeling like crap and I just didn't do anything about it. I just let it go downhill. Don't be that person, especially when it is so easy to control the 80% of your repeatable daily life to build good, sustainable habits that don't really take that much time or energy. They just take a little extra planning. And then you can really enjoy the other 20% of your life and have the freedom to not have it drag you down, or have the freedom to not ever have to get back in shape after a vacation, or get back in shape once the kids go back to school because this summer was just crazy. So do yourself a favor, give yourself the freedom of being able to live life to the fullest, look and feel better than you ever have before, and all it takes is getting some better habits put in place. And it's totally normal for people to not be able to do that themselves. I know it sounds simple, especially when you go through the list of those 8 questions. They're not anything too crazy, but if it was easy, everybody would do it. And 99% of people don't do it. So if you go to work, or you go visit your family over the summer, and you look around and you don't want to look like those people, you want to feel better, you want to have more energy, you don't want to be complaining about the low energy, the aches, the pains that we all hear about, then now's the time to make a change. Now's the time to make a difference. And it's a lot easier than you might think it is. So if you need help with that, I'm here. Coach Caitlin's here, Lauren, and the entire OxFit team. That's what we want for our athletes. And we're here to help, and we can get started now, and we can make summer 2026 the one where you got your habits in place in between your vacations, in between your kids' summer camps, in between your family weekend travel, whatever it is. We can get some serious work done before the end of summer. You've just got to be willing to start making some tiny, repeatable changes. Well, I hope you guys have a great Monday. That's kind of the end of my spiel, end of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Awesome week of workouts coming up this week. The goal is to just stay healthy, stay moving, stay well rested, because we want to go into retest week next week feeling 100%. So I will see you guys in the gym, and have an awesome